And what's up, guys? This is Coach Smith here. So I joined in another league. I'm only in 2 leagues now. I dropped my other one and made up for this one. And this is 4th and 1, which I played in a long time ago, and I was in high school still, I think, and just wasn't, where I wanted to be. So just going through, Matt Ryan was traded by the last guy that had him, and his throw power was so weak that I want to start Paxton Lynch, and I can't cut Matt Ryan because he has like a 10 million cap penalty. So basically, I'm stuck with him for this year. But he's super accurate, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. Running back, C.J. Anderson is a beast. Just look at his trucking and elusiveness. They're pretty good. I have a rookie, which I'll show you in just a second, that I would like to be my third down back instead of Booker, but his elusiveness is so bad, and Booker's is so much higher, and I'm not really losing a whole lot speed-wise. Yeah, I'm going from a 93 to an 87, but, what can you do? You have to go by the rating sometimes, and I'm wanting to go back to my motion offense I created a little while back in my first league I was in for Madden. Just because I'm actually thinking the pistol run game is just terrible. I don't feel consistency at all with it. So I'm thinking about that, and fullback is fullback. Who really cares? But I do have a couple of nice tight ends, and this isn't the final roster, so I got to release, I think, 7 guys, I think, to get down to 53. So 8 guys. I'm at 61 right now. Receiver, we're kind of hurting, actually. Demaryius Thomas. And then this guy I drafted like in the 5th round, maybe a little bit earlier, but 6'6", 90 speed, and has overall pretty good stats for a rookie, except his route running, as every rookie has, route running and awareness. And Janis I just kind of got from free agency. Now this guy, Stratton, he's going to be the playmaker, the dynamic guy. He's going to be the Percy Harvin of this team. He's going to be kick returner, punt returner. I would like to put him at running back for some screens, but that got denied. So he'll just be doing a lot of wide receiver screens and things of that nature, and just trying to get up the field, quick crossing routes, make big plays with just speed. And surprisingly, I got him super late too. He might have been the next to last pick. And to be honest, I kind of needed somebody like that for this team, especially offensively, where I can just generate a big play at will. Bebe is a good receiver, but his speed isn't barn burning, so I have to try to create it. This tight end, the top one, is one I got rid of, and Virgil Green is just there. His cap penalty is something like 8 million, and I'm strapped, so I can't really cut him without just taking a big ding, and I really don't want to do that. So the tight end I have, they're really good at run blocking and decent at catching, which you don't really need great catch for tight ends unless you're using him like you do Gronk. And I actually signed a guy in free agency, unfortunately, who I might actually have to send back to the practice squad if I can. I didn't think I was going to draft a tight end, and I did. So left tackle, Russell Okung. This is the rookie here, but as you can see, he's just better at pass blocking, and he's younger, so Russell Okung might actually get the chopping block if I can release him. Left guard, good run block, poor pass block, and the other guy just doesn't do it for me. So I'm kind of stuck with subpar guard play there. Center is terrible. There's not a whole lot I can say about that. But the other guy, we'll see how it works. I might switch him in and out, back and forth. The only reason keeping Lay in is that he's a year younger. That's about it. So I'll have to just see how they perform, honestly. Right guard is actually probably our most solidified position. He's only going to get better. Hopefully by the end of the year he'll be late 80s. So going into next year he'll be a late 80s guy. Right tackle, it's average. There's nothing great about it. So we have a really young line. That's a positive. Derek Wolfe is just a monster. Worst thing about him is he only got 75 speed, but his block shed and play rec and power move are great. So I drafted a guy with 86 speed who I'm hoping will just get sacks based off athleticism. Doesn't have great pass rushing stats, but I feel that he's athletic enough that he's going to make plays for me. And I think I got him pretty late too. He might have actually been the first one I picked. I really don't remember much about the draft. I would have to look that up. But main reason I got him is because he was good at the combine. And the draft was actually pretty lonesome. I mean, it didn't have a lot of great players. It was pretty top heavy, and then everybody else was very, very average in between. But, you know, obviously a couple of gems here or there. So then Von Miller moved defensive end because I wanted pass rushing at all times, and I run a 4-3. I don't really care for the 3-4 in this game. So we moved him just so I always have Von Miller coming at you from the edge. And as you can tell, he's just a monster. I'm pretty glad I have him. So if things get really dire cap-wise, I might trade him if I can develop some guys. But all in all, I don't see that happening. I mean, he's just too good to trade. What can I say? Defense tackle, I actually had to trade for both of these guys. I think I got like a third out of them. I'm sorry, I signed one of them from free agency and the other one, I think I got Williams here from a trade for like a third round pick or something like that. So, and that's the reason I did that, even though I didn't draft anybody, was because the defense tackle class was pretty terrible. And I didn't have anybody on the team with like a high block shed outside of Von Miller and Derek Wolfe. So I did what I had to do. Barrett is fantastic. His block shed is super high for a linebacker, and he has good speed and range. He also has good pass rush ability, but so does Shane Ray, and I feel like Shane Ray is going to be that pass rushing linebacker for me before Barrett will be, just because the zone rating for Barrett, as you'll see in a minute, is pretty good. I mean, 75 is pretty solid for a linebacker. I can't really complain there. But since I moved Von Miller up, my linebacker position is actually kind of weak. So I really need to address that, you know, especially this next draft. So hopefully I can do a trade where I can get multiple picks and keep doing as I've been doing with the multiple pick route. Brandon Marshall is a monster. He's not ever going anywhere. But I do have a rookie in there, or a first-year guy, second-year player, excuse me, and he might be a trade piece. The only problem is I don't have another middle linebacker, so if I trade him, I would have to... I could also move him to right outside linebacker, I guess. But I have to decide if it's worth moving him or worth getting a decent trade. So that's kind of where I'm looking. I'm thinking trading him. Because Shane Ray, I think, will do the job. I mean, I'll be in nickel most of the time anyway, just by how Madden operates. So that's what I'm thinking. And Walton is a second-year guy that I think is going to be okay. And then I have this guy who I think is going to be a decent player, cover 2 guy. He's just a project. That's really all I can say about him. Corner, I mean, I'm set. I had to cut Talib because he had 84 speed. And, I mean, what can you do? So I signed Robinson, and I didn't draft anybody. So I'm pretty set with the secondary on that level. Now, the safety position is a bit more interesting, not necessarily for Stewart, but for Barry Church. I'm thinking Barry Church is going to be the guy that gets on the trade block if I can't trade Matt Ryan at some point. So, secondary-wise, I'm good. The only thing I don't like about the secondary is they have no press. That's not good for me. Stewart, he's just a monster. I mean, he's a little bit slower than a couple of my other options, but not everything is about speed. You have to take into account the awareness and everything else and the upside. And I think Stewart right now, until probably next year when his speed drops to 80, is going to be that guy for me. So he might be one of those guys that's on the chop block next year, but this year I think he's pretty safe. And then here's where things get interesting. I drafted this safety late in the draft. I think he might have been my 8th or 9th pick. I had 10 picks. And he turned out to be a beast. As always, play rec and awareness for rookies. But everything else is about on par with Barry Church. So I'm questioning whether I need to move him to start, trade Barry Church, and just kind of bite the bullets with him, because I think the rest of the secondary is so good. I can cover up for him, and then who cares about the kickers and the punters, right? Stratton is going to be that guy. He's going to be the return specialist, and like I said, he's going to be doing screens for me. I'm really excited to see what he can do for me with that 95 speed. The only thing about him is he's a midget. So, and his elusiveness is high enough that he can do some good things for me. So I'm pretty excited to see how he does. But this was a playoff team last year, so I'm hoping to get back to the playoffs this year with them. And I should have pretty good defense. But that's it, guys. That is my preview of the roster. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk with you guys later.